One of the traditions of a wedding ceremony in Judaism is what we call the bedekin. When the chatan, the groom, comes before the bride, and with a material similar to this, the netting, he covers her face with a veil. And with that ceremony, it goes something like this. The custom of veiling the bride at the wedding appears to be mentioned in the Talmud. Some say that it is a sign of modesty. Others say that the reason the groom covers the bride's face is to indicate that he is not only interested in her physical beauty, but her spiritual qualities that will endure for all her days. The custom has biblical antecedents. In Genesis 24:65, Chaye Sarah, the parsha of this week, it relates that Rebekah took a veil and covered herself as she came to meet Isaac for the first time. The veil symbolizes the value of modesty and mutual respect. It says, Achotenu at hayi la'alfei revava. May the bride be fruitful and prosper. Now, how does that come from that parsha, the parsha? It says in the parsha, in that particular chapter 24, verses 64 through 66, it says, raising her eyes, Rebekah saw Isaac. She alighted from the camel and said to the servant, who is that man walking in the field toward me? And the servant said, that is my master. So she took her veil and covered herself. The servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Isaac then brought her into the tent of his mother Sarah, and he took Rebekah as his wife. Isaac loved her and thus found comfort after his mother's death. In a way, what this veil symbolized, of course, was more than just being a sign of modesty. Rebekah really signals Isaac that she was his bride. So in the bedekin ceremony, the same factor is coming about, that the bride is recognizing that the two of them are going to become one. Rivka, or Rebekah, filled a void that had been created by Sarah's death. So her role was really very important in our Torah portion. In the Bedside Torah, a book of commentaries written by Rabbi Bradley Shabbat Artson, he had sort of an interesting take on this whole idea of the veiling and of Rebekah coming to take Sarah's position in the family. He says, at some point in a child's life, it becomes apparent that the parents are no longer meeting the emotional needs and the resolve of every fear. In fact, what happens is they aren't the perfect parent that we expected that they were. They are good people, but not necessarily the perfect parent. Now, do we lose that intense closeness forever? Well, the Torah says maybe not. For in this description of Isaac's response to Rebekah, it hints to us in a loved spouse, we all have the opportunity to regain that sense of security, affection, and intimacy first enjoyed by infants in their mother's embrace, in their parents, their father's love. In a very real way, the love of our spouses comforts us for the loss we feel when our parents change their roles. Now he went on to say the following, it is in this relationship of marriage when a couple finds God in their lives and in their home, just as they seek to find comfort in the security and warmth of their parents' embrace, so too do they seek the feeling of being under the shelter of God's peace and protection. Maybe that is the deeper meaning of the wedding veil that is placed over the bride's face as she prepares to meet her soulmate under the wedding canopy. A good place to start a godly relationship is by lighting the Shabbat candles, making Kiddush, and reciting Motzi over Challah in the company of loved ones and friends. Shabbat Shalom.